How you guys doing? I thought I'd make a video showcasing the different shirts that we've made over the years. So we'll start with the very first one. My first year teaching, we didn't make one, but we decided to come up with the idea of making one in 2015. So this was the front of it, and so down here at the bottom, we got looks like some slicing of an integral, Calc BC 15. And Sarah Son, I believe, drew this original design. And on the back, we had made sort of comments that we were going to be the loon. That was like our secret society. The loon was a special shape that was, at the root of some complex problems. And so there's all our initials. And if there was a power to them, that meant multiple people had those initials. So, anyways, that was the very first one. The next year, I think, I don't know, I think maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, I guess, but I think this Jane Campbell designed this. And so the first year was definitely like a hand-drawn one. And so we decided to incorporate some calculus notation. We did integral from 15 to 16, AP Calculus, AGHS, BC. So that was the front. And then on the back, and this started to be the normal, we put everyone's names. So even if you didn't get a shirt, I think almost everyone got shirts. This was everyone's names on the back, and we were the all-stars. So you can see everyone's name from that year. This was 2016, my third year of teaching Calc, AB, and BC, and our second shirt. By the way, the first shirt back then, the previous one, that was first year we went to Disneyland, but we didn't get our shirts until like graduation, week of graduation. So this year, 2016, we got our shirts done before our Disneyland trip, and we all wore them to Disneyland. Now, that same year, we decided, or I thought, you know what, it might be cool to have a t-shirt for Calc AB. So we sort of just went ahead and adapted the design, the BC design for AB. We did a different color shirt, but you can see the color's different, and then we put AB over here as what we're integrating with respect to. And then on the back, we put everyone's names. This is weird. I'm getting used to this camera. So this was everyone's name. So obviously a lot more students. And so this was 2016. The next year, Calc BC decided to go with the series of the theme of series. And this is definitely one of my favorites. I just like the bold, it almost seems like it's like a, Greek shirt, with the big sigma there. But we went with the series theme. So we started at n equals 2016 to 2017. There's the limits. And then with the BC in the bottom, but we put an exclamation mark because lots of series have that factorial in them. On the back, this was everyone's names. And we kept it with the series sort of idea that the front equals the back. And so you see this equal sign right here next to my name. And then it was plus, 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 plus. And then at the end, dot, 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 plus Roy Granny Haskell, plus dot, dot, dot. BC students will get the humor or the significance of that. Now, AB, this was the first year AB designed their own unique design. And I think this was, I'm trying to remember who designed it. I think this was this? I want to say, oh man. I don't know. I'll have to go back and remember. Sorry. But we went with the College Shirt Monday idea. So we would always wear a collared shirt. So we decided, okay, let's make a collared shirt for calculus. And so this was like the crest. And inside the crest, we had different things that were significant from calculus. You know, we had the sigma notation, which we do use in Calc AB for the sum of an infinite, Riemann sums. We had a little limit in there. We had sort of the integral, kind of fundamental theorem of calculus there. Got a little related rates, dv dt, but the v is like Vonderheide, I guess. And it was the University of Vonderheide. So that was that. The back, nice bold design. We had a lot of students that year, a lot more than previous years. So this was 2017's AB design. Anyway, some ideas to think about for our shirt. And then that year, BC decided every year we have lots of ideas and we kind of like narrow it down and vote and kind of decided to go with a really bold, simple design, like a calculator button, Math 9, which we use all the time, right? I feel like that's the most two common buttons we press on our calculator. So we thought, this would be interesting. And we also wore it to Disneyland and, we thought kind of people will get it who've taken calc and who have a TI-80, whatever, Texas Instruments graphing calculator, but no one else will get it, which is kind of fun. The back, going with the whole calculator thing, we picked a font that looked kind of like calculator. So of course we did an integral because that's what Math 9 does. And Calc Buds, that was the name of the group chat. So, and then we put everyone's names on there using that. And then also Ethan Farrell at the end, because Ethan Farrell had taken Calc AB and he wasn't going to be able to take Calc BC. Super smart guy, because he was committed to choir. And he was like the only boy in the choir, and it was only offered one period. It was the same period as Calc BC. So what he did was he took the class without getting credit for it. He would take the notes. He took the AP test, got a 5. He would take all the tests that we would give. He would come and take them in our class, get out that day. So we put him on the shirt in a special way. This was that same year, 2018. This was the AB design. And this is definitely one of my favorites too. I just like the simplicity of it and the boldness of it and sort of just, I don't think so. It was plus C, because obviously plus C is a big deal. And we put a little squirrel on it because I think I expressed my obsession with squirrels. And so they decided to put a little squirrel on it. The back had an integral, but in the antiderivative form. So I thought this is a unique new way of doing it. Antiderivative with the limits over here, 17 to 18, or we're going to high school, has everyone's names on it. And we put a little acorn at the bottom, which has a couple meanings. One, the squirrel in the front likes acorns, but also the College Board acorn. And then apparently this was something I said all the time that I guess I didn't realize I said so much. It's Algebra 1, guys. So that was the quote. Because we do a lot of algebra. This was last year's BC design. So last year's BC design had less calculus notation on the front, but more just inside jokes. We had we were going for the Triple Crown. We were trying to get the king for homecoming, winter formal, and prom. I think we failed at prom, but we did get the king for homecoming and winter formal. And that was Zach Schweffler and Dylan Rigo was the first one. And we made posters and it was ridiculous. So we have that reference there. My wife got a Tesla that year and I was obsessed with Tesla. So I talked about it a lot. So that's what this sort of supposed to. Also the mountain lion video, me going viral, had happened. I think this class's first year in AB 2 years before. The canned food drive, of course, reference, which we won. The squirrel reference, they were the same class that did the squirrel the year before. Running, because I obviously run a lot. Africa, because we just had this whole thing where we kind of got into that song, Africa. I think it's by Toto, but it's covered by Weezer, and it just kept coming up randomly, different references. So it seemed like it's meant to be. So this was the front, the back had everyone's name on it. So AP Calculus BC 2018 and 19. So no real calculus references on the back. Royal Grande High School, we got a little crown, a little acorn again, everyone's names. And then last year's AB design, we feel like struggled to come to a consensus. We had a lot of good designs, but this is the one that won out, and sort of a reference to, now I'm blanking, but yeah. Anyways, okay. This is where Iron Man or whatever is, he's disappearing, and the reference here though is obviously if you take the derivative of e to the x, you get e to the x. So if you take the derivative of e to the x, you get e to the x. But we decided to go with that. It's a cool design. And the back, we had the theme continuing on the back, and then everyone's names on it. We did 2 colors. This was the first 2-color khaki shirt. It's more expensive doing 2 colors, but we decided it was worth it. I mean, we were going to originally go with more colors and with the different stones, but that would be a lot more expensive for a tiny bit of color. So this was last year's gigantic class of AB students. We've made 1 computer science shirt. Seems like we're less motivated in that class to do it. We'll see. But this was 2018. So this was 2 years ago. We go with the do something, which if you've taken computer science class, they like, especially the Barons and even the AP tests on multiple choice questions, they'll have these programs, methods, functions that they just give really generic names, like do something or change this or whatever. So, and we thought it kind of sounded like motivational, like people would be like, oh, what, but it's just inside humor. The back, we designed an actual program where we put code, and it's like the basic structure of a class in Java. And so we had the name there, we had private instance variables, we had a constructor where we put everyone's names in the string array of students. So that's everyone's name that year. And there's a method down there, get AP score, to be implemented in July in class. So that was our single computer science shirt. So anyways, just some history of calculus shirts at Rio Grande High School. And so I hope you guys have some good ideas. Send them to me, rough sketches first, and we can kind of like figure out the details. We'll figure out, probably put it to a vote, and it's going to be a little harder to, I think, figure it out. Not in person, but I think we can. And I think this year should have probably some memorable designs. I'm thinking, obviously the situation we're in probably could come into the design. I think that would be relevant. Usually what we do is we put everyone's names on the back, first and last names. When we finally get the final design, I'll give a list to whoever. We've been using custom ink. Usually you do these just because it has an easy interface to design online. You pick the fonts, pick the colors. We'll have to decide on the color. Obviously, we often go with Rio Grande High School themed colors, but it's not a rule. And then select what shirts we want. Usually try and get like comfortable shirts so they're not too cheap and uncomfortable, which usually means a couple more bucks, a few more bucks a shirt. Usually what we get is around Usually we can get the price down to about $10 a piece, at least for in Calc AB, maybe 11 or 12 for BC, just because there's less students usually. But this year it's kind of even. So I don't know. It could be like 12 or 13 bucks a piece if you end up wanting one. So we'll have to decide that at some point, get everyone's size preferences, order them, and get that all figured out. I was thinking originally it'd be cool to have them before the AP test, but that's like only 2 weeks away, and I don't think we're going to get it done by then. I don't think we want to do rush delivery to pay an extra few bucks per shirt just to get them a few days earlier or something like that. So I think we'll just shoot to get them done soon, and something to remember our time together by. I like to think that we're a team, and this is sort of like our team jersey or whatever. And we do have a team. We usually have our all-star team, I guess, go compete in Bakersfield at this calculus competition, which isn't going to happen this year. I'm still going to select a team based off your practice test scores. So if you want to be in the running for those, you should take every practice test. And I'm going to be looking for the most solid test takers for that team. Not the people with the highest grades in the class, not necessarily the hardest workers, which I admire and I do value that. But for this team, it's your performance in a testing situation. So I hope you guys are doing well. Give me some good t-shirt ideas, and we'll try and brainstorm some ideas and try and maybe fine tune them, add some stuff, take away some stuff, refine some stuff, and make them better. Think of some good calculus references. I think that's what makes them more fun. That if there's something in there that generally only people who've taken calculus would get, or inside jokes from our own school, our own experience in calculus that maybe only people who took calculus at AG would get. Okay. Talk to you guys later.